Welcome to the first annual Footsies Awards ceremony with your hosts, Mike and Natal.
Hey guys, welcome to the last final installment of the first annual Footsies Award, hosted by me, Natal.
Me, Mike.
And this installment is games. So for the category of Best Retro Remake, we both agreed it has to definitely go to Marvel vs. Capcom Origins.
Yeah, not only are they two great games, especially with Ultimate Marvel being huge right now, but you know the fact that you get two complete classic fighting games for 15 bucks with all the extra achievements, all the unlockable features of Third Strike Online. You got a really nice treatment. It's a really good package. Yeah,
I mean, if you guys never played those games before, it's definitely worth playing. I mean, they tried something new with one of the cabinet looks, and it's a little hurts the eyes a bit, but it was a good attempt.
Yeah.
And I like this formula, and hopefully Capcom sticks with this formula when they make Darkstalkers Resurrection and whatever other games they decide to release from their vault later on.
CVS2, please.
Yeah, please. So best retro game this year goes to Marvel vs. Capcom Origins. You deserve that footsie. Good job, Capcom, for releasing that.
And speaking of games you could pick up digitally, we thought we'd create an award for best overall downloadable game, and this one was pretty unanimous too.
Yeah, definitely.
This footsie for best downloadable game goes to Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, Sega. You get so much for your money.
Yeah, I mean when the game first came out, if you were a PlayStation Plus member, it was free for like the first month, and then if you wanted to buy the extra costumes and stuff, I think that was like an extra $12. But if you bought all of it, it was even discounted down to like 10 bucks or something like that. Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown was amazing. I can't believe all that was given to me for a downloadable title.
Yeah, for 15 bucks. Yeah. And even if you want to buy all the costumes and DLC, it'll run you maybe 4 or 5 bucks less than an actual retail game.
Yeah, and it has to be the prettiest downloadable fighter.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, it's amazing, the environmental effects are out of control, the snow in there is ridiculous, the stages, every round they change between a ring out to a wall stage, like, just amazing, so definitely.
And netcode is solid.
Yeah, solid netcode.
And even though it's kind of a refinement of Virtua Fighter 5, that game is like 5 years old, and with the 2 new characters, new stages, all the gameplay refinements, it pretty much feels like a sequel. So
yeah, it really does, Award for best downloadable title this year goes to Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. Congratulations, Sega.
Yeah, big shoutouts.
Yeah.
Looking forward to VF6.
Yep. Besides downloading fighters onto your PSN or Xbox, you can also play them portably. And this category obviously is Best Portable Fighter of the Year. Now, most of the portable fighters came out on the Vita.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that the Vita was the most dominant handheld console for fighting games this year. So, with that being said, Street Fighter Cross Tekken for the Vita actually wins Best Portable Fighter. It came with a lot of stuff. I mean, I finally paid 40 bucks, I finally got the full game, I got all the characters, I got all the costumes. You know, the fact that the online play is really great, has cross-platform play. The augmented reality option where you can take pictures with your favorite characters in the game is cool. The fact that when you win online, you get a little trophy of the person you beat, and you can store and save those. The colors that you choose, you could share them as gifts and send them out to other people. So I feel like Capcom really tried to make up for all their other mistakes, atone for their sins, if you will, with the Vita version. And the Vita version was a pretty solid, compact game for 40 bucks. So this year's footsie for best portable title goes to Street Fighter Cross Tekken for the PlayStation Vita.
Congrats, Capcom. And also a special little shout out, if you'd like to play fighters on the iPhone, definitely pick up Cross Tekken on iOS.
Yeah.
They handled the game really well. They made a really cool simplified version of it. It actually plays different than the main game. So, you know, if you don't have a Vita and you still want some portable fighting action, Cross Tekken on the iPhone definitely.
Yeah, so let's give that quick award too. So best iOS portable fighter goes to Street Fighter Cross Tekken on the iOS. It's actually really solid.
Really solid. So obviously, you know by now here at Fire Eye, we're obsessed with fighting games.
Obsessed.
We go to tournaments, we interview players, we play them all day. We're just hardcore gamers all around, and we have found the time to actually play some video games this year.
From time to time.
So we've each chosen our favorite game of the year. Natal, what video game did you enjoy most?
Oh, that's easy. Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 for me is the best non-fighter game of the year. Shout out to Borderlands 2. 2K Games, Gearbox Software, you guys are amazing. I mean, it's more of the same from the first one. I get to shoot dogs in the face. I get to shoot giant-ass birds out of the air. RPG elements, first-person shooters, a bazillion guns. Borderlands 2. If you played it, you're already nodding your head and agreeing with me. If you never played it, all I have to say is Borderlands 2. That's it. Borderlands 2.
Good choice, good choice. I personally have to say, as a big sci-fi and shooter fan, it was a tough choice between Mass Effect 3 and Halo 4. but I gotta give the award for best non-fighting game to Halo 4.
Yeah.
It's basically probably the most complete package of a video game I played this year. It's got a great campaign. It's got super addicting multiplayer as always. Has great Spartan Ops co-op mode that's it's constantly receiving new updates. So if you're looking for one video game for your Xbox 360 that you'll never get bored of, get Halo 4. It's perfect.
Definitely. Halo 4 is this year's Gears of War 3, where it has tons of content, but don't forget Borderlands 2. Amazing.
Yeah, so lots of great games released this year, but also a couple not so great ones.
Yeah.
And so we had to create a footsie for the biggest fighting game letdown of the year, which is funny because this game has won a couple of good footsies, but it's got to take this bad one too.
It does. So you guys know what game we're talking about. Street Fighter Cross Tekken's biggest letdown of the year.
Yeah.
Capcom, you guys really fudged it up this year. I mean, you guys could have released the game complete, one shot, one package. Everyone would have rejoiced. I think the fighting game community would have definitely probably turned the other cheek with some of the, mechanic errors, but you guys just try to sucker so much money out of us and play us for these gems and this awful gem system, and you guys did a shitty job, but man, what a great game at the same time.
Exactly.
So.
The gameplay itself, I still love it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to version 2013.
Yeah. So
huge shout out to Capcom for actually recognizing their mistakes and fixing them.
But it got pushed back to January.
Yeah, that kind of stinks. But anyway, the reason it wins biggest letdown, we hate to rag on the game, but just the way everything was handled, the way the DLC was discovered so instantly, the gems kind of made things unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
So, the game started off with some problems, but we've always been big supporters of it. We kind of started Fight Your Rival covering that game.
Yeah,
so
that was the game we featured on the first
episode. That's the game that started it all. So, even though it's this year's biggest letdown, it could be a great game next year. So, shout out to Capcom for sticking with it.
Yeah, so biggest letdown of 2012 goes to Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You guys can walk around a lot with all the footsies.
You guys got a lot of footsies. You'll have comfortable feet for years.
Yeah.
So even though there are a lot of great games coming out this year that could keep us busy for months and months on end, there's a lot coming out in the years ahead that we're very, very excited about. So what are you looking forward to, Natala?
I mean, personally, I wish this would come out next year, but I hope it doesn't. Please come out 2014, maybe early 2015. But Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Capcom had their shot doing one of the most amazing crossovers ever, and now it's Namco's shot. And Namco delivered this year with SoCal 5 and Triple T2. I could only imagine what they're gonna do with Tekken Cross Street.
Right, especially the engine of Tag 2 would lend itself perfectly to the Capcom characters.
Jinpachi is a Street Fighter character.
Exactly, with his projectiles, his teleports.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what they do with that game. I know it's a ways away. They've only really barely started development, but we can't wait for it.
Yeah, can't wait.
And I have to say, my most anticipated, probably the fighting game we've seen the most of that isn't out yet, definitely Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Yes, definitely. I mean, granted, Tekken X Street Fighter is something I really want, but Injustice looks fantastic.
I mean, I'm not even the biggest DC Comics fan, but Mortal Kombat 9 was one of the best fighting games I've played this generation. Injustice just looks like a bigger, crazier version of that. Game looks gorgeous. I really love how it's rooted in Mortal Kombat, but it's got environmental objects, and every character has really unique properties. So I'm excited to see how that game plays out once it finally hits shelves.
Alright, and shout out to interactive environments. I hope this becomes something almost not like a staple, but something that's definitely shown more in fighting games. I do believe the background should be just as important as like the actual characters that choose themselves.
I mean, look at Tag 2, and there's so much strategy with the balcony breaks, the floor breaks.
DOA 5 has them as well. Virtua Fighter 5. I mean, a lot of 3D fighters use the background elements, and it's something I enjoy. PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale has it as well. And
yeah, Injustice really brings to mind like those old like Marvel vs. Street Fighter, or the old school Mortal Kombat's where you're punching people through walls. Yeah. It takes it to a whole new level. I mean, watching this game in action looks like an action movie. Yeah, straight up. And I got to play a little bit at Comic-Con. So it's definitely it's not a, definitely not a rehash of Mortal Kombat. It has just enough elements of that game to kind of ease you in. So I can't wait to play it. Yeah,